Hi everyone and welcome back. So today I was actually hoping to do a Primark haul for you, but as it turns out I went into Primark and I only picked up one thing, and that was actually a reduced bottle of hand sanitizer, which was £1. So when I couldn't find anything else I just put it back and didn't buy anything. So unfortunately no Primark haul today, but fingers crossed I'll have something in the future like that. So today I thought I would give you a tour of my dressing table, and the reason that has come to mind is essentially because I suffer from something called hyperpigmentation, and I did a lot of research into products that might help that. And it took me quite a long time to figure out a routine that works, and so I was thinking about doing kind of my hyperpigmentation skin routine and how my skin has improved and what I've done to help it improve. So if you're interested in that, then please do leave me a comment and let me know, and that's something that I can look at doing in the future. But for today I thought I would just give you an overview of kind of my dressing table in general. It's obviously my most used products, mainly skincare but a bit of makeup as well. So if you're interested in that, then keep watching. So this is my dressing table. You can see I am not dressed for the occasion in the mirror. It's from the website very.co.uk. I basically wanted a dressing table that had a stool that came with it and also a mirror, because I like a big mirror. So here is just a brief overview for you. Obviously these are the most used products as I mentioned, and I'll go through everything in a bit more detail in a moment, but yeah, that's the general overview. So now I thought I'd go into more depth with some of the products that I've got here, just because I think it's going to be easier to kind of show you them in a bit more detail rather than as I kind of went around and gave you the overview. So I suppose the first thing is my hairbrush. So this is Wet Brush, as you can see. It's this gorgeous pink colour, and sorry it's covered in my hair, but I don't know if you can see, but it's got kind of these bristles with the little pink bits on the end, but then it's also got this low bristle as well. I think it was called watermelon something because it was supposed to have watermelon something infused into it to make your hair more like moisturised. My hair, it looks very windswept today because I've been outside and it's windy, but it's very thick and curly and prone to frizz, so anything that's moisturising is obviously a godsend for me. So yeah, that brush really appealed to me. And then I suppose if we're staying on the theme of kind of not products as such, the next thing would be my Foreo Luna face brush. I believe this is the Luna Mini Play 2, possibly. It's great because it's got these tiny little silicone bristles here, and then it's got thick ones at the top. And it's really soft on the skin, and as you can see it's got a button on the back so you can turn it on if you listen. I don't know if you can hear that. So the idea is that it vibrates and it helps to clear out your pores more. I have to say, when I started using it, it definitely did make my skin feel cleaner, and it felt like products were kind of sinking in more. But I'll be honest, I bought it in December, it's now nearly June, so I've been using it for about 6 months. I feel like it's gotten less efficient the more I've used it. I have changed the battery twice, so I don't think it's that. But I do like it, and I still use it every other day. And then I guess I'm going to get questions, so I'll show you. We've got my mirror as well. This is a number 7 mirror. As you can see, it's powered by batteries, it's wireless, and it's got a light built in, which is super useful. It's got a like super mirrored side and then a less magnified side. It's great for doing my makeup, particularly my eyebrows. I feel like I have to be really close to a mirror in order to kind of get them right, because my left eyebrow, it has a bit of a bold patch and it's a bit of a weird shape. So I really like that. I like that there's no wires to it, and it's really easy to just move back and forth. So I keep it in the corner, and then obviously when I want to use it I just pull it out and I don't have to worry about knocking everything over. I should also add that most, if not all, of these products are going to be cruelty free. In 2016 or 2017 I decided that I was going to try and buy as much cruelty free makeup and hair care as I possibly could, and it really surprised me when you start looking into it. Like, I mean, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the UK a lot of the big high street brands are not cruelty free. Back then it felt really limited in what you could get, particularly at kind of a lower price. But I think it's expanded a lot in that time, so obviously it's been 5 or so years since I just made that decision, and there's so many more affordable products out there now. I think all of Superdrug's own brand products are cruelty free, all of Boots' own brand products are cruelty free, so obviously it's so much easier to buy now. There may be a couple of products that aren't cruelty free, and I probably brought them to try and help with my hyperpigmentation, because with that it's more important to me to get a product that works. So that's why I say I buy cruelty free when I can, which is most of the time. So moving on to my little grey rattan holder. This was from Home Bargains. My sister bought it for me because she had one in her local Home Bargains, and I really wanted one, but they didn't have it in mine because we don't live that close to each other. So she bought it, and then the next time we saw each other, she gave it to me and I paid her back. So it's really useful for brushes and bits and bobs, as you'll see that I've got. So I suppose the first thing is I'm currently using this mascara, number 7 Extreme Length. The reason that I bought it is because of the bristles on it. So I don't know, again, how well you'll be able to see this, but they're really like plasticky thin bristles rather than like the kind of brush material that you usually get. I was hoping that was going to help to separate my lashes better and be less clumpy, but actually it's not great. I'll keep using it obviously because I don't want to waste it, but I probably wouldn't buy it again, to be honest. Next up, we've got this vitamin E eye cream. This is Superdrug's own brand. I've used this before, so it's a repurchase. I've dropped it. I bought this before and I really liked it, and I've been really struggling with my makeup caking under my eyes at the moment, and I thought if I buy a moisturiser then hopefully that would help. Unfortunately it hasn't really, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but again, I don't want to waste it, and so I might as well finish using it up. Next up, I'll deal with these both together because it's 2 concealers. I'll be honest, I don't use them, so I should probably look at getting rid of them somehow. This first one is from Natural Collection. It's a liquid concealer, as you can see. The problem with this, if you look at the colour compared to my skin, you can't properly see it in the light, but it's very dark. I have very, very pale skin, and I just bought one that was obviously too dark. I've used quite a lot of it by the looks of it. If you look in there, it does look like a fair bit's been used, but I just don't use it anymore, so I should probably get rid of that. And then the other one is Collection Lasting Perfection Colour Corrector. So this is a yellowy concealer, and again, I just don't use it, frankly. I find that concealer and foundation together, again, go quite cakey on my skin, and I just don't use it regularly. So I don't really know why they're there because they're not regular products, but there we go. This next product is a mascara that I would definitely repurchase. The only difficulty I have with it is that it's not cruelty free. It came in, it's like a subscription box. I was gifted one for Christmas, and it has like sample size different products in it, makeup and skincare, and this was one of them. It's the MAC False Lashes Extreme Black Mascara. You can't really see it because of the light, but it's just this little sample size. I mean, if you compare it to the number 7 one, obviously it's quite different. But this, as soon as I put it on, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It makes my lashes look so long. It's not very clumpy either. The wand is like this, so it's much more of like a bristly brush. And so I've kept it because I know that if I do decide to repurchase it, I will never remember what it's called. So yeah, I'm in a difficult position with this one because I don't think that MAC is cruelty free, and also it's expensive, so I'm gonna have a think. So that was all in the front section. I suppose the only things just to finish off with are my tweezers. Not very exciting, they're just tweezers. And then I've also got this, which I believe my sister bought for me. They're these tiny little, like, I think they're supposed to be for like getting blackheads out, so they go like that. I'll be honest, I use these with my foundation, and I'll explain to you why when we get there. But again, they're just useful to have because they're so small. In the next section, I've actually got 2 primers. So this is the collection Primed and Ready primer. I don't really use this either, to be honest. I'm too lazy to use a primer. I do try and get through them, but my problem is that if you're adding layers constantly, then I feel like it takes me forever to sort out my face in the mornings. And I don't want to have to get up earlier than I have to for work just to put primer on my face. So yeah. The other one is another primer that I got in the sample box that I mentioned that I got that MAC mascara in. So this is the Smashbox, the original photo finish primer. So this I thought was really good. I think I've used most, if not all of it. Foundation went on really well, but again, I'm just not very good at using primer, so I don't tend to use it. Next up, I've got just an eyebrow brush. It's not very exciting. And on the other end, it's like I think this was supposed to be an eyeshadow brush. I tried to cut it because it was very, it wasn't very stiff, if you know what I mean, at the end. So I felt like I couldn't do my eyebrows properly with it, and I've just messed it up because it wouldn't go straight and there's some of the bristles sticking out. So I was hoping to use that as my only eyebrow brush, but now I just use the kind of brushing, combing side. And then I've also got in there my clear mascara, which you can see is brown. I use it to set my eyebrows. I imagine it does the same job as brow gel. My eyebrows stay on all day, they don't really smudge. So that's that section. On to the next one. The next section is a bit more brushy, I guess. The first thing I've got is this, I'll be honest, this says brow and lash comb. I don't really know how it's meant to be a lash comb. Obviously you've got the brow bit there, but I don't really like the shape of that. What I do use this for is I use the comb section there when my mascara gets clumpy and I try and like brush it out. It doesn't always work very well, and obviously you end up with mascara all up there. But yeah, I've got that just in case. And then next I have this concealer brush. It says concealer on it. I believe, yeah, this is number 7. Oh, wrong way around. I love this, especially if I go too far with my eyebrows, then it's a nice little brush that I can just get in and make sure that the rest of my face is the right colour. And then next I have my eyebrow brush. This is from Studio and it looks like this. It's an angled one. I don't really know why I like angled brushes so much for my eyebrows. I suppose I like having the long bit at the end because, like I said, one of my eyebrows is a bit bold and I have to kind of try and reshape it so they look somewhat similar, at least. So I love that eyebrow brush. I would definitely recommend that. Next, I've got a foundation brush. I don't really use this, to be honest, and I'll show you why and how I apply my foundation in a minute. This is number 7 as well. And it says foundation on the other side in case you're in doubt. I used to be a big fan of brushes, but then they started leaving brush strokes on my face, which I was not okay with. So I don't use that anymore, so I should probably get rid of it. And then finally, I've got this CYO brow sculpting pencil, which again has got one of the brushes that I like at the end. And then, as it says on the tin, it's a pencil here to draw in your brows. I got this in a reduced price bundle from Boots. They were doing all sorts of CYO or CEO, whatever it is, makeup. And you'll see I've got a bit more, which I'll show you. I don't use it because my eyebrows, this is going to sound really stupid, but my eyebrows are quite hairy. Like they're quite long, and I suppose they're quite like, they come quite far out from my face, so I find pencils quite difficult because you kind of have to fight the hair out of the way. So powder works better for me, which is a shame because I did really like that, and it would be so easy, especially for travel, just having to take the one pencil and know that you've got the brush and the pencil in it. But it just doesn't really work for me, so again, it's something I don't really use and I should probably get rid of. And finally, I have my trusty comb. How much is there to say about a comb? It's a comb, it's great. It probably wasn't very expensive, but it does the job. And then we've got my powder brush. This is quite a thick one, quite a solid one. It is Eco Tools. And I think I got this from Boots, and I think it was probably about £7 or £8. I like the really kind of thick ones rather than the ones that you can just kind of go like that and it waves. I use pressed powder, so this is quite good for picking up enough to kind of go on your face. So yeah, I really like that powder brush, would definitely recommend. And then finally, I've got this, which as you can see is from Birchbox, which I believe is a subscription box. I signed up to it when it had like 40% off, and it was something ridiculous, like 20 or 30 pounds for 3 months. And the idea was that I could try lots of different sample products, like the box that I got for Christmas. So what this is it's like a mask spatula. So you scoop the mask out of the pot and then put it on your face. And I think it's supposed to be more hygienic because you're not putting your finger in there. So I don't use it very often because I'm not a huge mask user, but it is really useful for when I do use a mask. So that was everything that's in the grey rattan tiered box, I guess. So now I'm going to move forward a little bit to the other stuff that was on the left hand side. So first up I've got this little triangle sponge. If I show you it, you'll see which part of it I use the most. So I use this part. I basically use it because I have, at the grand age of 26, I've developed under eye lines, so my makeup settles into it, so I just like to get it like that and dab out some of the foundation so it doesn't settle quite as deeply and make me look as old and knackered. So that's what that's for. Next up is my pressed powder that I mentioned earlier. It's the collection one. This is, I've got it in Ivory 18. This is really reasonably priced. I think it's like £2 or £3 and it lasts forever. In my view, a pressed powder is a pressed powder, so it's not something I'm going to spend lots of money on. I've been using it for years and years and years, and yeah, definitely recommend it. Next up is my eyebrow palette. This is so old. It's by Collection. It's called Incredibrow Brow Kit Brunette. Again, you can see which colour I use. So when you open it up, it's got a little mirror at the top, although it's not very useful. And then it's got 3 colours. So you've got like a lighter brown, a medium brown, and then that is almost black. You've got the brow gel as well, and then there's a brush that comes with it as well. One end is angled and one end isn't. So obviously you can see I use the middle colour. I did experiment with using the black, but it was too dark and the other one was too light. So yeah, I've had this since before we moved into this house, and that was 2.5 years ago, so this has lasted me really, really well. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Next up is why I don't use a foundation brush. It's a beauty blender. So I like these ones that are like the typical egg shape. I think the Real Techniques one have a flat section on it, but obviously this one doesn't. This is just from Primark. I bought a bag of about 20 that style, and also, you know, you get the ones that go like that. Although I don't really like those, and it was like £8 for 20. I've been buying the Primark sponges for years. I haven't used a Real Techniques one, but the Primark ones work fine, and obviously I think they charge like £1.50 for 2. So that does me. I'm quite happy with that. Next, I have a lip balm, because I have a lip balm everywhere in this house because my lips are so dry all the time. This is the Born Lippy in Watermelon from the Body Shop. Looks like that. I'll be honest, I bought a couple of these. I think I got them possibly from an outlet, and it smells divine. It smells so good. That's what it looks like on the inside. The only problem I have is that it doesn't really moisturise my lips. So I bought this one, and I've also got one of the Christmas ones called Love and Plums, and again that one smells absolutely gorgeous, and that one actually melts a little bit more on the lips, but they're just not very moisturising. I don't know what it is. I almost feel like it makes my lips drier, which is a shame. So I try to use them interchangeably with other lip balms that do work, so that's a bit of a shame. Next, I have another product from the CYO bundle that I got from Boots. This is a bronzer. It's called Bronzing When the Sun Don't Shine Bronzing Powder. So it looks like this. I am not very good with bronzer or blusher because I'm not very good at blending, I think is the problem. So again, I've used it a couple of times, but it's just not really for me, so I might donate this to my sister. I gave her, I also got a bronzer on a stick, and again I wasn't really into that, so I gave her that, so I might give her this one as well. Next I've got a moisturiser. So this is the Sukin Oil Balancing Mattifying Facial Moisturiser. It's got a nice little pump at the top. I bought this reduced in a gift set from Boots after Christmas one year. It came with a gel cleanser and I think there was something else as well, but I can't remember what it was. This is a pump, obviously, and it's the moisturiser looks like that. It's quite a thick moisturiser, but I do like it, I have to say. The only thing is that because it's mattifying, I'm always a bit reluctant about using it as a base for makeup. I don't think I've ever tried it, but I just worry that it will kind of clump up on my face. So I tend to use this when I'm not leaving the house and not wearing makeup, because I'm just trying to use it up essentially. It's a great product, but I have moisturisers with SPF that I use when I leave the house, and I'll come onto those in a bit. I've also got a hand sanitizer in here. So this is the So hand gel. Yes, it is So if you've ever used the body sprays as a teenager. I bought this because basically I was watching Disney in Detail, Victoria. Every time she goes to Orlando, she buys nice scented hand sanitizers, and I was like, they must do those in the UK, but they don't really, so I can understand why she buys them in America now. But I did get this one, so this smells really good. Basically I use this before I cleanse my face at night because I'm too lazy to wash my hands, so I use the sanitizer and then obviously start touching up my face. The logic being that hopefully it will kill any nasties that are on my face before I start touching it. But yeah, it smells really nice. So now we're moving more on to the actual products that I use that are more kind of skincare orientated, although I haven't shown you my foundation yet, so I'll show you that as well. So the first thing is the Botanics Hydration Burst with Clary Sage Hydrating Daily Lotion SPF 15. I think this looks really fancy, and you will see that I'm a big fan of the Botanics range. It's Boots' own brand, and so it's cruelty free. But I bought this because I wanted a base for my makeup when I went on holiday to Cyprus, so I wanted something with an SPF but also that would work as a good base for my makeup. This is also great because it's a pump, but it's also got it's like a toothpaste tube. So it's really easy to get everything out of it, and it's SPF 15, which is fine for me. So I use this moisturiser when I'm wearing makeup and planning to leave the house, because it's got an SPF in it, and I'm trying to use SPF so that my skin doesn't get ruined as I get older. But I love this moisturiser. I don't think it was very expensive. Again, the Botanics range is really reasonably priced, and I think the products are a great quality, and I can definitely recommend this one. Next up is one of my Hyperpigmentation ride or die products. This is from the Inky list, and it's called Tranexamic Acid Night Treatment. The thing I really love about the Inky list is that it says on it every product what it does, and I know that's not really focused, but it says helps reduce hyperpigmentation. I'll tell more about the story maybe in a separate video if you guys want to see my hyperpigmentation story and treatment. But basically you use this at night after you've cleansed instead of a moisturiser, and leave it to work overnight and then wash it off in the morning. And I love it, absolutely love it. I've repurchased it. I thought I was right near the end, but it keeps going. It's a pump, and the actual product is quite thick and kind of, it's not clear, it's like a little bit of a cloudy white, but I think it's brilliant. And the other thing I love about the Inky list is if you look at the back, you may not be able to see, but it shows you where in your routine you would use the product as well. Absolutely love this, 5 out of 5, definitely. Next, I have another Botanics moisturiser. I really like this one as well. This is Triple Age Renewal with Purple Orchid Firming Day Cream SPF 15. This is what it looks like. I think this is the second time I've bought this. This is one of the more expensive products in the range, but it is lovely. I'm nearly at the end, as you can see. It's very thick, is all I would say. I don't know if you can really see how thick it is. And so it doesn't work as a base for foundation because, again, it's just patchy unless you kind of rub it in properly. But it smells so good, with the mindset of I want to make sure that my skin is good, nice and good as I get older. I just thought I would give this a go. I think it was reduced the first time I bought it, really liked it, so I've bought it again. So I wear this moisturiser if I'm going outside and not wearing makeup. So I don't religiously wear makeup, I generally only wear it kind of if I'm going to work, or it sounds really sad to say for special occasions, but generally I try and have makeup free days on the weekends, so I will put this on if I'm leaving the house. The next product is one that I picked up as part of my hyperpigmentation journey, but unfortunately it didn't have the effect that I wanted. So this is La Roche-Posay Rosaliac AR Intense Localized Redness Intensive Serum. Very fancy. I don't think it was mega expensive, to be honest. I think it was about £15, but I did kind of shop around to try and get it as cheap as I could. Basically it's supposed to help, I think it's more aimed at like rosacea rather than hyperpigmentation. So I did find that I did have a little bit less redness, but not necessarily in my hyperpigmentation spots. So it's fine as a product. I wouldn't rebuy it personally, but that's just because it wasn't really made for my skin type. But if you've got rosacea, then perhaps give it a try. Next, I've got the first product that I found that I loved on my hyperpigmentation journey. So this is the Ordinary Alpha Arbutin 2% ANHA. If you haven't heard of the Ordinary, they are basically like redefining skincare. So as everybody is getting more into all these kind of acids and learning more about these kind of peptides and stuff like that, the Ordinary do a variety of different products but at a really reasonable price. So I think this is like £6 or £7. Again, I don't think it says on here what it's good for, but I found it on the Boots website with like amazing reviews for people with hyperpigmentation, and it does work, definitely. I think you have to persevere with it, but it's really good for brightening my hyperpigmentation spots, and that's basically why I use it. That's my second or third bottle, so obviously definitely recommend it. I think it's the alpha arbutin in it that kind of brightens the skin, so yeah, definitely would recommend that. Next up is a night cream. This is the No. 7 Essential Moisture Night Cream. Inside it looks like this, so I'm still reasonably new into it. It smells so good. It smells so luxurious. It's a night cream. I don't really know what to say. It's not particularly thick and rich. I suppose it's probably on the lighter side, but it's nice, it's fine, it does the job. I don't really know why I have separate day and night creams other than the SPF. But yeah, I think this is nice, and I guess I'd rebuy it. Next up is another product that I basically came across as part of my hyperpigmentation journey. This is the Botanics 100% Organic with Rosehip Nourishing Daily Facial Oil. Facial oils in general is what I came across as part of my hyperpigmentation research. These are really amazing for helping with that. And my skin just feels so luxurious when I've been using a face oil. Like the next morning when I wake up and I'm like, oh, my skin feels so good. As I said, I'm a huge fan of the Botanics range, so I just bought this when I was running out of my other oil. The one I used before this was the one with cannabis in it, in the hope that it would calm my skin. I didn't particularly notice that, so I just thought I would try this organic one. Again, I think it was reduced, so I thought I'd try one of the more expensive ones while it was reduced. But yeah, again, great product, and yeah, would definitely recommend if you're looking for a new facial oil. Next up is the reason why I brought a facial oil. This is Botanics again. It's the 93% organic with rosehip hydrating super balm. So it's very small. I don't know if you can appreciate how small it is. And it is literally a balm. Again, I don't know if you can see it, but it's sort of like cuticle cream consistency, and then when you put it on the skin it melts down. So I was using this, I don't even know how I started, but I started using it on my face to kind of try and help with the hyperpigmentation, and found that it did really help if I applied it overnight, and I think it's just a moisture thing ultimately. So that led me on to then buying the face oils. This is great though, you can apply it, it says just apply to areas of dry skin suitable for face and body, so it's great if you get dry patches kind of anywhere. So yeah, again, would recommend that if you've got dry patches anywhere. And then finally, perhaps the moment some of you have all been waiting for, my foundation. This is the NYX or NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. I've got it in Fair, although I think actually it's probably a little bit too pale, so I've been mixing it with a darker product, so they balance each other out. Do you remember when I mentioned the Pinchy product earlier, this one? Well, the reason that I use this with my foundation is because it's got a really poor design on the pump, so you probably can't see, and actually it's not too bad at the moment, but basically the pump gets clogged up, and then if you try and force it to squeeze out, it just goes everywhere. So I use it to scrape out the dried foundation, which is a real shame. I've bought this before, and then I bought something else just to try something else, and I thought, oh great, I'll go back to NYX, but I'm not keen on it anymore. I can't layer it. Don't know what's happened. I'm sure I used to be able to before, so now I mix it with a drop of face oil just to kind of thin it out a bit, and it's a bit better, but I don't think I would buy it again. The good thing about NYX is that I'm very pale, as I mentioned earlier, and they actually do foundations that match my skin tone. Miracle. If you're pale, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's great in terms of colour coverage, but I'm going to have to try something else after this. I did actually, the product that I bought after using the NYX foundation last time was the Revolution foundation drops, which I was layering and was absolutely fine because obviously drops are much thinner. And I've actually bought it again because they were half price at £3. £3! So again, great, I'll just use those. And that's it. That's pretty much everything on my dressing table other than cotton buds, which obviously aren't very exciting. So I hope you found that interesting, and I hope that maybe particularly if you've got hyperpigmentation, then hopefully some of those products will be able to help. Even if you're on the lookout for something new, then hopefully I've steered you away from some of the products that I've bought that I think don't really work that well, or steered you towards some that do work. So like I said, I might do my skincare routine at some point, so if you're interested in that, then please do leave a comment and let me know. Similarly, if you want me to talk about my hyperpigmentation journey, then please let me know, and I'll happily make a video about that in the hopes of helping fellow people like me who suffer. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!